Good morning and welcome to our webinar focused on greenhouse technology in Poland, which is organized by Netherlands Embassy in Poland. My name is Agnieszka Sznyk. I'm president of the board of Innovo. It is foundation think tank and we work for a better future for the implementation of circular economy principles. In that regards, greenhouse production is very interesting for us as well. Especially there are different technologies, different innovation which can make greenhouse production more sustainable. And this is what we will talk about during our webinar. So talking about logistic technicalities and agenda, our webinar is divided into two parts. In the first part, we have presentation of the great expert, which present the overview, general situation, economic situation in Poland, and also how the greenhouse sector is developing in Poland. So I have with me now Mrs. Caroline Spans from the Netherlands Embassy. Caroline is the agriculture counselor in the embassy, and she will tell us about this economic overview. Follow the presentation of Caroline. I will invite Mrs. Anna Wojciechowska, and she will give a presentation about her report, which is prepared recently with cooperation of Dutch Embassy. And you can as well download this report from your screen. They should be displayed the QR code, and you can download and learn it later in details. So Anna Wojciechowska is a great expert which is worked for many years in the greenhouse sector, which is provide crop consulting and commercial supplies for more than 20 years. And she's a great observer what kind of changes are developed and how the greenhouse production is changed in Poland. So after the presentation, we have the panel discussion. We invite some more experts also from business perspective, the practitioners, which they tell you how they conduct their business in Poland and what technology, what innovation could be implemented and how Polish producers of the horticulture plants are prepared for this innovation. So, starting our webinar, I would like to introduce Mrs. Caroline Span. And as you all know, we already facing a lot of challenges. Yes, our economy facing a lot of challenges. Pandemic, Ukraine war really changed the system, and also it's influenced a lot greenhouse production. So we can see a big energy prices, which is rise extremely, and I think this is the biggest part of the cost in the greenhouse production. Another thing, the war at Ukraine would really change the labor market. Yes, we are lack of the labor which can help the greenhouse producers to really produce their crop. So Caroline, the floor is yours. Please introduce us to the economic situation in Poland.
Thank you very much, Agnieszka. And it's my pleasure to have you all virtually with us in the studio in Warsaw to talk about the greenhouse technologies, about the developments, and specifically about energy saving. I would like to give a short presentation, as mentioned by Agnieszka, about the situation in the Polish economy, as well about doing business in Poland. And I realize that some of you might already be familiar in Poland. If you are, please also provide your comments in the chat. Maybe you agree, you disagree, or you have some additional tips for the newcomers. And for the newcomers to the Polish market, I hope some insights will be useful to you. But let me introduce quickly myself. So my name is Caroline Spans. I work for the Dutch Ministry of Agriculture, but I'm based abroad here at the Embassy of the Netherlands in Poland. And we are also accredited to Czechia and to Slovakia. And with RVO, which is a Dutch enterprise agency, we work very closely together. We make use of their network and we make use of their instruments also to help the Dutch business abroad, such as here in Poland. And what do we do as agricultural counselors? Well, in general, we are just focused on bilateral cooperation and bilateral exchange. whether it's between ministries, if we talk about policy, or between knowledge institutes such as Wageningen University, who has a cooperation here in Poland as well, or between businesses such as we do today. And we try to identify the opportunities. We write market reports and we write about the developments in general in the agricultural sector in Poland. And you can find all the information, also the market report, for example, on our website, which is in Dutch very difficult, www.agroberichtenbuitenland.nl. But in the end of the presentation, you will also have a QR code to the website itself. And I have been saying we, because luckily I'm not by myself in Warsaw. We are with a team of 3 people. I hope also for the viewers right, but at least for me on the screen, there is Olaf Horbanchuk. He is our specialist in European policy, in soil improvement, and also in the livestock sector. And on the left side, looking from my side, you see with the beautiful flowers, that is Agnieszka Murawska. She is our specialist in the horticultural sector. She is also the initiator of the market report and the initiator of today's webinar. And when there will be follow-up questions afterwards, or you have specific questions about the market, she will also be your first point of contact. So talking about the Polish economy. Well, you can look at all kinds of statistics, look at GDP, look at the market, look at the economy share within the EU. But just fact is, Poland is an economic powerhouse. At the moment, it's the 5th largest economy in the EU. And it's a very diversified economy, it's very developed. Also, for example, what many people don't know is that at the moment the highest skyscraper within the EU is being built here in Warsaw. It's also a net importer, and when we look at the bilateral trade between the Netherlands and Poland, it has been growing as well recently. In general, Poland is the 6th trading partner for the Netherlands, and in the agricultural sector, Poland is the 8th export destination for the Dutch agricultural sector. And then you can think about machinery, greenhouse technologies, but also very relevant for us in the agricultural sector is the flowers and the plants. Poland is the 5th export destination in that area. But when you look at the economic outlook for Poland, it has seen a lot of growth, but the forecasts now are little bit more pessimistic. The real GDP growth is slowing down since last year, and the expected forecast is to reach 0.5 to 0.9% in 2023, so this year. And why is that? Well, there is a high inflation. It peaked already in February of this year, around 17%. And although the inflation has been going down to approximately 10-11% at this moment, it is still in the double numbers. You can see there's a low unemployment rate, and I will get back to that later as well. The Polish government is trying to support the Polish economy with fiscal policy. For example, there is a 0 VAT rate on food. There has been a cap on energy prices for households. And in general, also because the elections are coming up on October 15, we can see that at the moment a lot of money is being pushed in the economy. But what are the opportunities and strengths? Well, for Dutch companies, one very important one is the fact that there's a large domestic market. There are about 38 million people living in Poland. And besides that, Poland is a hub for the whole Central and Eastern European market. So also from here, you can see that many companies are active, and from here then further exporting, for example, to Czechia or to Slovakia. But it's also serving as a hub currently in all kinds of ways towards Ukraine. Of course, there are many advantages, such as the high technology, the strategic locations. And what I find very interesting is that since COVID, we can see the phenomenon of nearshoring. During COVID times, a lot of these supply chains were disrupted, especially from those companies or supply chains working with Asia, with China. And you can see at the moment their companies are nearshoring again within the EU. So moving the production in the European Union or trying to become less dependent from imports from outside. In the case of agricultural sector, for example, you can see that we try to become less dependent on protein crops, normally such as soy, coming from South America. So Poland plays a crucial role in this part, and we can see both Dutch companies but also other companies more and more coming to the Polish market. For example, PepsiCo with the processing of potatoes has just recently opened a new factory. But also Danone has announced they will do a 50 million investment in the dairy sector. So these are the opportunities and strengths that we can see. But of course, as every economy, there is also some challenges and weaknesses. One of them, which also was mentioned by Agnieszka, is the shortage of labor, because the unemployment rate of 3.2% actually means there is a shortage of labor. This is due to the aging population of Poland, the fact that immigration has been, but also that there has been a disruption of the labor market due to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. You could see that many Ukrainian men who are working in Poland, they have largely been going back to Ukraine, and women and children as refugees have been coming to Poland. But it's a different labor market. It's a different kind of labor that is now active here. So that is also affecting the agricultural sector in general. Another part is the economic patriotism, which is always interesting for the agri-food sector. We can see the fact that there's food nationalism, as we like to call it. So if you walk into the supermarkets here, you can see all the Polish flags on the shelves. And the Polish government is actively promoting the fact to buy the Polish products instead of other products. Normally, this is really more affecting the companies who are working directly towards selling to the end consumers. But sometimes we can also see some issues if companies within the supply chain are trying to take on some market access issues, that the government might be more willing to solve these issues if there are Polish companies involved instead of only foreign companies. And there is also there mentioned of the public investment, which is depending on the EU funding. At the moment, due to still issues with the European Commission on the rule of law, let's say just a disagreement, some European funds have not been made yet. So there is a dependence on that as well. There was still a last one. Speaking as before about Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, we can see there's a high uncertainty at the moment of the Polish consumers. Being a frontline state of Poland, I think it was more specifically at the beginning of the war, but you can still feel it here, is the uncertainty about how this war will develop. People have a tendency to save and to look more at the price of the products. Poland was already a very price-driven market, but it has become even more because of the high inflation, the high uncertainty for the Polish consumers. So that is a little bit about the Polish economy. And now to one of my most favorite websites there are. It's the website from Hofstede. Everybody can go to this website. It's Hofstede, streepje in Dutch, Hofstede stripe, insights.com. And you can make a comparison of culture differences between countries. And of course, I've filled in here, because we're talking about Poland today, culture differences between Poland and the Netherlands. The Netherlands obviously is the orange one, and Poland is in this case the blue one. And because I know we have many men probably watching today, I will start with the issue of masculinity. You can see a difference in different societies, whether it's a masculine society or a feminine society. And it's not about the participation of men or the participation of women, but it's more about which values are in society are the highest. In Poland, with a masculine society, you can see it's more about competition. It's more about being the best. It's the strive to the competition. And it's also when you're trying to resolve conflicts, for example, more by fighting it out instead of trying to find the consensus. A feminine society values more issues such as taking care of each other, and also more not about being the best in what you do, but more about liking what you do. So you can already maybe hopefully feel the difference there, but later on we will also go to what does it practically mean about doing business. Another big difference between the Netherlands and Poland is the uncertainty avoidance. Well, as we already said, due to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, uncertainty has even grown more important in Poland at the moment. But society in general in Poland for the society, it's difficult to cope with uncertainties. So what does that mean? For example, also that people are very well prepared for situations. It also means Polish people are in general very well prepared for meetings. There is an urge to work hard, an urge to be very precise, and also to be very punctual. So also, for example, please come in time for your meetings. It also tends to have to be less tolerant towards unorthodox behavior, unorthodox views, in contrary to the Netherlands. So how does this translate to the business culture? Well, as you understand, maybe already Poland is a more formal and hierarchy society, and also a more hierarchy business culture. Due to trying to avoid uncertainty, trust is crucial, and contracts are sacred. So nothing is agreed upon until something has been written down and there is a signature under it as well. The more masculine society, you can see back also that it's in hard negotiators, not trying to find consensus, but really giving it the push till the last moment. And the price aspect is very decisive in it. I will not tell you about the Netherlands because I presume you all know how we do business in the Netherlands. A little bit about the do's and don'ts about doing business in Poland. The first one might seem obvious, but it's related a little bit to one of the last bullets as well. Be honest but not rude. Because another favorite thing of mine is to look on the internet and try to Google on why are Dutch people so, and then you can see what the highest hits are. And the highest hit is always why are Dutch people so tall, but the second highest hit is always why are Dutch people so rude. We tend to have a very direct way of communicating, and there is nothing wrong with a direct way of communicating. However, we tend to be very curious. We tend to ask all kinds of personal questions immediately before you actually really know the person. That goes for politics, that goes for religion, and those can be very sensitive topics in Poland. And of course, it doesn't go for every person, but please let it be more the other person who might talk about the opposition or abortion, religion, World War II, all those kinds of very sensitive topics. And invest in the relationship with the decision maker, and don't underestimate the hierarchy in the negotiations. As a formal business culture, use formal language. So we try to speak to each other like Miss or Mr, Pan, Pani. Although you can see very much a shift in the Polish society nowadays as well. The younger generation tends to be more informal. And that goes a little bit with the last bullet as well. Poland is already a member of the European Union since 2004. So the people who are 18, 19 years old, they have been born in the European Union. And we tend to look in the Netherlands still a little bit to Poland as a newcomer or some country which is still somewhere in het Oostblok, as we say in Dutch. But these are, I could say, maybe a little bit of old-fashioned views of Poland. And we still tend also to say about Poland is an old Soviet or post-Soviet country. And I always like to quote also the Minister of Foreign Affairs from Estonia, who has recently said, "We are not post-Soviet, we were never Soviet, there was an occupation." In general, also, as was said before, make clear agreements. Nothing is agreed upon until something has been signatured. If you make clear agreements, confirm them afterwards on the email, and be patient. But be patient goes as well for the Dutch business culture, I presume. So this was a little bit about the Polish economy and about doing business. If you go to the ScamMe, you can go to our website where you can also download the market report, but also follow us on the website in general. So that was it from my side for now, Agnieszka.
Thank you very much, Caroline. I must say it's very interesting, and I'm, as a pure Polish, I can only agree with your findings. So remember about the hierarchy. It is very important, especially in the agricultural sector. I used to work as a farm manager, managing director, and for example, I can't make a tea to my employees because they can perceive it, a little bit weird, and I can lose respect of them. I know this is kind of funny in a way, but this is how it is in the countryside, let's say. And not only signature, a stamp. A stamp is very important. We're sometimes laughing about it, but yeah, it is as it is. So thank you very much once again. And now I think we move to our another expert, Mrs. Anna Wojciechowska, which will present her report, which we prepared recently about the innovation. Please, Anna, join me here. And of course, I would like to remind you about asking questions. Because there is a chat, please write your question. If something, brought your attention, you have some doubts, you want to a deep dive in some topics, please write it down. I will receive it. And after that, we have the panel discussion. We can discuss your question later on. So, Mrs. Wojciechowska, please, the floor is yours. And please tell us a little bit about situation in greenhouse production in Poland.
Hello, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. This report is done thanks to the Dutch Embassy in Poland, and is telling you the story, overall situation about Polish glasshouse and greenhouse technologies and how they did impacted by energy crisis 2022-2023. Sorry. Something about Poland, a helicopter view. I know that first presenter already introduced you Poland as a country in numbers, but let me also tell something about the numbers from my point of view. Population of Poland, Polish people is 37.7 million of people, and at the moment we have 2 million Ukrainian people on the top, which find their home here in Poland. We don't know if they will stay or they will leave our country after the war, which hopefully will be soon. And the population at the moment is quite big, but the lately statistic prognosis are not very happy for Polish population, because the prognosis are clearly telling that in 2060, Polish population will go down in 2 million people, 10 million people, because just simply we have a negative birth index. Polish area, 322,000 square kilometers, which is also for your information, around 8 times higher than Netherlands. GDP and inflation, both with asterisks, because the numbers are estimated by the Polish Ministry of Finance. GDP is 0.3% in the end of this year, and inflation 7.2%. However, the current inflation is still higher, is around still high, 10%. Protected glass and greenhouse industry in a nutshell. Total area, which is listed on the official documents, is around 5,020 220 hectares. First crop is tomato, which is grown on an area of 1,750 hectares. Second, cucumbers, nearly 1,000 hectares. And the other crops consist in order from pepper, then leafy vegetables and small crops like radish, seasonal, very seasonal. And this total number consists in two sectors. One sector, there are greenhouses, and the second one, glass houses. Glass houses are the solid construction, is a stable market since many, many years. And currently we have in Poland active companies, stable companies with the area of 1,300 hectares. And the rest I put to the bucket which called greenhouses, means plastic tunnels, but also old declining market of the old construction, low-tech glass houses, producing for a shorter cycle and as said, disappearing slowly. Greenhouses sector is rather declining. It's very fragmented market. As you see on the picture shows very nice greenhouses because sometimes we have a very simple wooden construction. And they are just simply difficult to count because the constructions are fully removable, means that 1 year they can exist, second they can disappear, or they can be rebuilt again. Means that now estimated is still this 3,009 hectares, but next year can be 4,000 or even much less below 309 hectares. Going back to glass houses, because greenhouses is also important to say that greenhouses, they were not impacted by the crisis as much as glass houses, because greenhouses are not heated or partly heated only. Glass houses are much more energy demanded. They are located, spread all over the country with a few concentrations in central, western part of Poland, also some smaller concentration in eastern part and southern part. And the rent for glass houses in Poland is, as I know, the same as entire globe, is consolidation, maybe not as highly noticed as in Netherlands or US, but many years ago, 50% of the market consists from 100, maybe even more companies. At the moment, we have only 20 companies. And as said before, market is very stable. Since here, it was the same numbers of hectares. I would like to introduce you also the Polish average grower, because there are differences between Dutch grower and Polish grower. Just to highlight you the similarity and the differences. Polish Mr. Grower is rather modern grower, well educated, has a high-tech building. The construction is in 40%. They have constructions not later been built at 10 years ago. Has a 5-6 hectares. Inside of the house is drip irrigation installed, but is no feed solution is not recirculated because it's not required here in Poland. In 100% is growing completely soilless on the substrate. 99% is a rock wool. Polish grower is digitalized, means that has a irrigation computer and also climate computer, which is steering temperature, humidity, etc., etc. In a difference to Dutch grower is using own water source. In the vast majority, there are boreholes, but some growers are using also surface water. CO2 is not supplied from a burning, but is supplied from the pure gas delivered from the specialized company from tank. Has a sorting machine for sorting or is using manual sort only because some fruits, some vegetables are very, very fragile, very soft. He is using integrated crop control to monitor the crop. And there is a big dominance of a biocontrol natural enemies. If there is a tomato grower, is using bumblebees for pollination. And now, getting to the clue of the report, some points about energy crisis which impacted Poland just after the war started. After Ukrainian war started. Also, there is a big difference between a Polish grower and Dutch in the heating system, because in Poland we use in 95% coal for heating. And however, the crisis is, the first wave is the most impacted is already gone, but we don't see any shifts to another source of the heating. And according what our ministry said, we will be still a coal-dependent country and completely stop with the coal usage is prognosed not sooner than for 2049. So quite long time we will have still to live with the coal. Heating is a number one cost in total cost, and is from total cost is 30-35%. And maybe a few words about energy crisis, which started as I said already, just after the war started. Why? Because Poland imported, until the war, it was a big importer of the Russian coal. More than 60% of the coal was imported from this country. And suddenly, when war started, our government, Polish government, stopped to import coal. And then, because of the gap of supply, we were impacted by lack of heating, lack of coal. And this gap took 6 months to recover. And after this 6-7 months, Polish found another places to import the coal from, like Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, but also far located Colombia. On the beginning, when we faced the shortage, the lack of the heating, prices dramatically went up 6 times. And they reached the price of close to 2,000 Polish zlotych per 1 ton. And of course, it in a very fast time impacted our glasshouses business. Growers start to move their planting towards more warmer period of the year. So planting shift from the December, January to January, March. We also notice a big reduction of lead producers. However, there are still only a few lead producers in Poland, but only one left at the time. And also some companies were closed permanently. And the others switched their crop to not very heating demanded, like berries, strawberries, even blackberries. So it is really pity. And at the moment, seems that the main period of a crisis is already gone. And the coal market is stabilized, and the price is now, however, is still double than it was 2 years ago, but it's acceptable. And growers, they went back, they are turning back to the old planting terms, December, January, and our limited production is also rebuilt from this area, which it was 2 years ago. Energy and gas prices still remains high, as you can see on the graphs. And maybe, by the way, I have to mention that they are average prices shown on graphs. And the most important part about investment coming for this year and also for outer years. In short term, the biggest threat now is not the heating, it's the lack of people to work, but I think that is the problem of entire globe, Europe for sure. There is no expansion in acreage, means that there is no new buildings started, no new project in Poland. They are completely frozen now. Also, there is no major modernization, only the small one, just like installing sensors, some tools to speed up the crop, to monitor the crop and achieve in the end the higher result in yield. In long term, for sure we will have a consolidation. Poland is not the exception, will follow the trend. Smaller growers will be taken over by bigger ones. And I also mentioned that there is a trend that Polish consumer like to buy and to eat Polish product. Means that there is a sort of guarantee also for Polish vegetable producers to produce here locally. And this trend is noticed and is also increasing. And for sure, investment in robotization. Robotization is something which we are really looking forward because lack of people. We know that some new projects are pending, trials, but Poland is really, Polish grower is really looking forward to have a ready solution delivered. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anna. We have one question from the audience regarding the inflation. So because of the big inflation, what is the expectation of increase in the labor costs from now until 2026? How kind of impact it will have on horticulture? Could you say something?
I have to send the addresser of this question to the official information from our government, because now the minimum salary is rising very, very often. And as far as I know, now we have a different salary this month that it was before, and also the new one, growth in salary, this basic salary is expected for the beginning of the year. Means that in the end, the salaries are growing, also taxes are growing, and the labor price is also, entire labor cost is growing really a lot.
Thank you very much. And as we discussed it, the biggest issue is also energy, heating. We, as experts in circular economy, discover also some kind of industrial symbiosis. And maybe it could be also a solution for the future. It's a niche now, but it could be a cooperation of the agriculture, horticulture, greenhouse production with the ICT sector, because this big server produce a lot of heat.
Yes, and we know that there is a first project I know that there is running, and it's between Microsoft and some glass house.
And it's also in Holland, I think, this project. I
heard about this project, but sorry, I don't remember.
I think that it's also in the Netherlands. So
yes.
this is maybe kind of the future, you know, this industrial.
We have to
technologies.
consider because there are some opportunities also about the investment. I think that I missed this point. Some growers invest also for a biogas, and such a project they are also they are subsidized by EU. But the problem is that is a source of heating which can deliver, can be treated as a supportive heating. It's not the main heating source, but biogas biogas plant station, they can give some heating as well. And also during the crisis, several growers installed burners for a biomass. But it is also the same because the biomass doesn't have a big calorie value. And it's also very fast to burn. So the material should be delivered 1 second after another.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you very much, but please stay with us because we will
Thank
follow
you.
with the panel discussion so we can have time to discuss it more later on. But now we would like to present you the short movie made at the Warsaw University of Life Science about the greenhouse technology in Poland. So stay with us, we will be back in less than 3 minutes, and now enjoy watching the movie.
Cieszę się, że mogę Państwa gościć w Szklarniowym Ośrodku Doświadczalnym Szkoły Głównej Gospodarstwa Wiejskiego, gdzie prowadzimy badania, testujemy różne odmiany, różne rozwiązania technologiczne w uprawach hydroponicznych w szklarni, tak aby zwiększyć efektywność produkcji. Mamy możliwość prowadzenia doświadczeń w jednakowych kamerach doświadczalnych, gdzie są one jednakowo wyposażone w sprzęt, natomiast różnicujemy warunki, czyli różny sposób doświetlania roślin, to czym doświetlanie asymilacyjne poprzez tradycyjne stosowanie lamp sodowych, ale również stosowanie tego światła sodowego hybrydowo w połączeniem z międzyrzędowym doświetlaniem lampami LED lub w 100% tylko doświetlamy rośliny światłem LEDowym o różnym spektrum. Mamy jeszcze laboratorium in vitro, gdzie też wykorzystujemy lampy LEDowe o różnym spektrum do takich bardzo kontrolowanych już badań z uprawą hydroponiczną, gdzie możemy zastosować różną jakość światła, natężenie tego światła i różną długość doświetlania roślin, a także zmieniać te warunki uprawy, kontrolując inne parametry. Ten sposób uprawy produkcji roślinnej ma wiele zalet. Oczywiście jest drogi, wymaga większej wiedzy, ale jest ściśle kontrolowany. Ta produkcja zimowa, jeżeli konsument jest w stanie zapłacić wysoką cenę, to producenci będą inwestowali w tego typu rozwiązania techniczne. Te rozwiązania są coraz bardziej dostępne dla producentów, coraz tańsze, coraz bardziej efektywne, więc producenci są zadowoleni i myślą o rozszerzaniu tego typu produkcji. Także jak najbardziej uważam, że wszystko idzie do przodu. Jeżeli młodzi producenci zaczynają tutaj rozwijać i wprowadzać te nowe technologie, to jak najbardziej będzie to szło do przodu.
Welcome back. Now it's a time for panel discussion. So let me introduce our great experts who join us today. Mrs. Anna Wojciechowska, you already know, but now join us 3 gentlemen who are really practitioners and have broad knowledge about the topic. So I would like to introduce Mrs. Konrad Pawlak from Vitro Flora company. It is Polish company which producing propagation material from in vitro cultivars. breeders, and the company is producing mainly ornamental and grass plants for different growers and breeders. And recently I heard that you have quite a big investment and developed your company. I also checked your webpage yesterday. It looks impressive, as I must say. So welcome, Mr. Pawlak. And Mr. Pawlak is with us online, so we will connect him online. But I would like to welcome also Mrs. Adam Krawczyk, which representing bank sector, financing sector, Credit Agricole. Good morning.
Good morning, hello.
And last but not least, Mrs. Paweł Strauchman from Rik Zwan Polska, the company which producing seeds of tomato and cucumbers. Yes.
All general seeds for vegetable seeds.
Okay.
Welcome.
And so I remind you, our dear audience, also to ask the question in the chat. So if you have any particular questions to practitioners who are doing business actually in Poland, please write it down and we just refer to that later. So maybe as a start, because there was a question about this labor market, labor costs. So I ask maybe Mr. Konrad Pawlak and Mr. Paweł Strauchman about your experience with the labor cost. How much it rise? What is the future of the labor market in Poland, and how it impact your business? So, Mrs. Pawlak, maybe we start from your side.
Good morning once more. Yes, we all see this tendency. We all see this problem happening, not only the last year, but already since few years. The tendency and growth of the cost of labor is very high. Luckily, also our market, from our side, of course, luckily we have the possibility to use the manpower of some refugees from Ukraine. So this somehow minimalized the bad influence on the market. But what can we do? We can only think ahead. So there was the whole discussion is in general about introducing new technologies, about investment in our greenhouses, in our way of production. And this is what Vitroflora has been doing since the beginning. For more than 40 years, we have been trying to be all the time a few steps ahead of the market. So one side is that we have to grow in the greenhouses, which are more effective. So this also is connected somehow with the manpower needed in it. But again, a big part is automatization. And that is true, what you said in the beginning, that we have made some implementations of new solutions. And this is taking place all the time. We have to think about what to do, what procedures, what work can be automatized. And this is a big thing happening right now at Vitroflora, both in the greenhouse or glass house, like Mrs. Wojciechowska said, happening, but also we run a big tissue culture lab, and there you probably know that the need of the manpower is also very big. So automatization is a big topic.
Thank you very much.
Maybe as an addition, because I missed it during my presentation, I think it could be interesting that at the moment we are using, is a bad word, but we use people from Ukraine, but also there is a huge number of people working now in Polish glass houses from Pakistan, from India, from Colombia, all over the world.
Thank you very much. Mr. Strauchman, how do you see the labor market in Poland in this sector?
It is, like colleague said, I can confirm that it is a growing problem, and mechanization, automatization, it is a future for coming years. Maybe not immediately, because it is required invest and special maybe construction even. However, it is future, and today then we're talking with our partner grower. What is biggest challenge for them? This is first in first two position. Always it is shortage of employer. No matter no Polish, no Ukrainian, which was in the past, they were very basic. Now it's like colleague said, mostly from Far East and now from South America. Yeah.
So, as we see this problem with the labor, but on the other hand, we hear that Polish producers, breeders, growers are a little bit reluctant to the mechanization, robotization, implementation, new technology. Do you think that it might change? And do you see any support, I don't know, from the policymaker, from the financial institution? Is it easy to get the extra financing for such improvement to implement innovation? And also, this is the question maybe firstly to the bank representative. Do you have a special offer for the growers if I want to improve and develop my business? Could you help me?
Yeah. We have it. We have a special offer because when we reorganized glass houses or other companies, farms in Poland, we have special programs, of course, for that. We're thinking also of ESG. Like everybody right now. Like always, it depends of credit capacity, of collaterals and other things, but this is the most important right now, and we can do not maybe everything, but when we've take this our client and we talk together and thinking how they can develop these glass houses or farms. We can do probably everything, but always it's depend of credit capacity and collaterals.
And do you see a big interest in these instruments in Poland? What is like
this is difficult because when we're thinking of glass houses in Poland or greenhouses of Poland, this is difficult because when we're thinking about credit capacity is normal, like we said. When we're thinking about collateral, this is difficult because. When we want to have some security, not security, this insurance of this collateral, we have problem in Poland because this is very expensive, and only two organizations maybe do something like that, and. From our side, if we don't have insurance and we don't have collateral, we don't have any loans for that, and this is difficult. And when we have another collateral, for example, another land or another things to have it in our bank on another bank, because this is important. We have problem to finance something like that, something like glass houses or greenhouses.
So how do you see from the business perspective this mechanization, robotization? Because I understand that you are already front runners, yes, and your business are very developed. But how do you see in the other growers? Are they ready to implement? What barriers they facing, and where they can find financing? I don't know who starts. Maybe
barrier. I think that there is no barrier. But the problem is that we don't have still yet the solution. We don't have a tool. They are already under development stage. Robots for deleafing, robots for twisting plants, for harvesting. They are not superb still. And we know that there are some in Netherlands there are in use robots for harvesting, but they are slow also. So is a weakness of this equipment still.
So the
we are
technology is not
really
there.
looking forward to have them improved.
Yeah, but it is right. But we have because we can say, then we are kind of followers which are focusing on Dutch market, and we try use it technology from this country which is absolutely leader on this part of our business. However, some solution are testing, and while you're asking our grower are ready, they are, because I can put a few examples where a grower looked and asked, have a request before COVID even, about some solution which they know saw in Holland. However, they are till now not ready yet. This means what we're using the transport, intelligent transport or gradings, this help a lot. However, this mostly manual work which is needed, this mean it is the solution in practice is not available at the moment. However, then they come, I am sure, then our growers are ready, especially the big company which won't invest, just looking forward in the future.
Thank you much. Mr. Pawlak, would you like to add something to that?
Yes, because on the other hand, we see that the investments are really taking place. When we discuss it internally at Vitroflora, we can make a simple spread between the customers. We have customers who, unfortunately, most probably will not have any followers for the future. So over here, the tendency for new investments is rather low. But then we have the second group of growers, and those have plans for the next 10, 20 or 30 years. They have the followers, they have kids, or they have a bigger organization. And we see that this tendency for innovation is quite high. So they are ready and they are doing this. Maybe not in such a big words, automatization is taking place. But when we look, for example, to the greenhouses, they invest a lot into the greenhouses. They build, they renovate, they try to be ahead of the market, and they want to meet the needs for the energy costs and for the prices on the market.
We have another question from the audience. Are EU subsidies available for Polish growers for technical innovation, robotization in the horticulture industry? Are you aware of?
From my knowledge, it was in the past. However, in current days, it is not.
It's depend of agency of ARMIR, and this is the place when we know that we have money for this innovation or not.
If they have money to start to enter the project, with they can subsidize, but at the moment, at the current time, we are not aware if there is some project pending.
So as we talk about the financing, yes, I see this is kind of the biggest problem, yes, in the development of this sector. And as we discussed beforehand, there is not much support from the government, yes, from the policymakers. It's still a little bit a small part of the agricultural sector. They more focus on this big land production as grains mainly. So my question is, do you see a light in the tunnel? Because on the one hand, recently I think we all heard that our government said that will be condition or demand that some percentage of Polish sales must be Polish product. Yes, they said something, Polish apples. This is like very nationalistic movement now. So we want to shift the production in Poland. So if the government says something like this, do you think there is a light in the tunnel, I would call it? I don't know.
I can say it is. Maybe not because government said. I see, then we talking and we analyze some data about the market, the consumption. Our consumer liking and looking Polish vegetable, special tomato, absolutely unique type in Europe. And it's produced, we are lucky because it's produced over 90% only in Poland. And this is one of point which can show then the future is, we can say it, we can look optimistic on this.
Yes, but also what is needed, and there is a lack of growers group now in Poland. Means that maybe that we have a growers group, but they are concentrated mainly around trading. Nothing else. Polish growers, they don't like to discuss by the table about the consist policy within the group, about also maybe they should do a push towards government, towards our ministry, also to show the importance of horticulture sector, because well, as you said, grain is important, overall agriculture is important, but horticulture is still within this big bucket, is a peanut. And there is no link between a Polish grower, Polish glasshouse, greenhouse growers, with the ministry, with the authorities in Poland.
Yeah, it is. I see also this point. Only one exception I see in agricultural part. It is association of apple growers, yes, which are pretty strong and can push for some solution and to propose some solution. A weakness absolutely for greenhouses, company, family or project, it is each for them it is alone. And this is a challenge which,
we have a growers association, but I think that is our opinion that they are not pushing too strong to persuade and put the Polish horticulture also to the top, to the priority list on the big agriculture.
It is more on the paper and not in this understanding like now our partners in Holland, example.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not this way of working.
But maybe the apples we exporting a lot, yes, and maybe that's why they.
There is still a big noise about Polish apples, but there is no noise about what is happening in vegetable industry.
Mr. Pawlak, would you like to refer to that?
Yes, in the ornamental part, because I represent a little bit a different part of the business. We also see the light in the future. We see that although the COVID time was a difficult time for many sectors in the business, although for the production of flowers, it flowered a lot. So it was a booming moment for our clients, and it was in general a good moment for the sector. It has changed now in the last year due to the costs, all the costs and the situation that we have mentioned. But we see, like I said, we see a bright light that our growers, our customers will continue with the production, and they will put more and more products on the Polish market. We know Dutch suppliers, they are quite strong here in Poland, but the Polish suppliers are also very, very important.
If may I add from my field as this circular economy expert, I think also the legislation will help, because now we have this circular economy package, we have this Green Deal, which also focus on shorten the value chains, yes, and to produce regionally. So it will be, I think, the movement in whole European Union to really make production local. So I think also it's a future and in a chance for that. So let's maybe come back to money. How banks assess risk of greenhouse modernization? Do you have any special tools how you can?
I'm thinking about it and ask my colleague from insurance companies. and they said that they don't give insurance for this kind of buildings, and this
But
is
why?
because this is very risky in our country, because weather it's not maybe we have good weather because we have a lot of sun, but sometimes we have ice from the sky and hit the glass or greenhouses, and we have a lot of problems to give insurance for these buildings, and this is the most important thing that we would like to have another collateral when we want to have give financing. But I thinking like in other countries, maybe we can do some cooperation with the biggest companies, and when we have big company and cooperated with a big one or small one greenhouses, for example, to give heat or something like that, and we have guarantee from these another companies, we can do we can give some financing for that, and like in other countries. Difficulties, like I said, difficulties collaterals and insurance to these buildings. And when we have another collaterals, we can do everything with the grower or farmer.
So you suggest this partnership, collaboration, cooperation, make us bigger, stronger, more impactful.
But when we're thinking about financing of inside machines and something like that, we can do that. And this is easy. We have investment loan or leasing, and for that it's easy for that. And when we're thinking about buildings, it's difficult. But when we're thinking about inside machines, it's easy.
Are you confirming? Do you have insurance?
I do.
But
Maybe I will
please.
information from the governmental part. Of course, we know that insurance is a big problem. We hear it from our customers. We see it on the market. But again, to give at least a small light, that we know that there are bigger players entering the Polish market, especially from Germany or Holland or from Netherlands, which will do their best really to help those medium or even small growers, to help them with the insurance. We are insured, yes, we are a big company, so maybe that it is a little bit easier for us to organize the insurance, but there are ways to find a good insurance and really to speak good with the banks, which is needed if we want to speak about some subsidies, because without the bank, the subsidy is really difficult to achieve.
I confirm.
Thank you very much. I also encourage the audience to ask the question, as we have the expert here. If you have any kind of questions, issue, interesting topics which you want to highlight, please write it down in the chat, and I will discuss it with our experts. So maybe I also ask the practitioners about the energy, because we already talked with Anna Wojciechowska that the prices rise extraordinary, I would say. So how you are dealing with that issue? If any kind of golden tip for that?
There is still no golden tip.
No. It's why the silence.
We are all searching for that golden grail, but we know that it is impossible to find right away. We know that the companies are searching for this. What was already mentioned, that there are ways to get energy from biogas, from cogeneration, which now is not that maybe cost effective. we hear from our customers, from our friends, we hear that they started to invest into panels, solar panels, into windmills, but this is still not the solution that is bringing enough energy. What we are now discussing, what we are looking into is how to get the heat source. That is one part. Maybe geothermy is a future for this. But another big point is how to store this energy. And we are taking part in some of the projects and doing the research how to store the energy that we can produce.
Mr. Strachman?
Yeah, I think it is a hugest challenge because, like colleagues already said, we are dependent on the coal, like the source of heating and electricity as well. And each solution which can help a little bit share this depending will help a lot. I know the project which are based on the straw boilers using. However, it is another problems growing. It is accept for small company 1-2 hectares, but not for 20 or 50 hectares. But this kind of solution, or maybe combine few of them, can help. However, store of energy, how to collect it, is as well a challenge.
Yes, the problem in Poland is that our Polish net doesn't have enough capacity to take over all electricity produced from the wind, from the solar panels. Yeah. And this is the main issue now. So maybe the solution, there will be a huge battery able to storage the energy produced. Because Poland also has a bit different climate condition than Netherlands. Netherlands is rather mild, and here in Poland we have a big differences in temperature and also in wind between summer and winter. The amplitudes are really high, and also the light condition is not as good as in Netherlands. Of course, talking about averages.
And when we're thinking about financing of energy production, we don't have a problem with that. Maybe without windmill, and this is easy. We have a lot of companies for that, and also our bank and leasing companies give financing for that.
Especially photovoltaic, yes?
Yes, but also gas stations and etc. We have it. Yeah? We are happy to give this financing for our clients.
Maybe in the future, this small nuclear power stations. It's also developing. It's controversial, but we'll see.
In long term,
in the long term, I'm kind of doing with sustainable development, ecology, but that sounds for me interesting, I must say, personally. So we have a question from the audience. Biobest has automated tools available for greenhouses to scout pests for very early identification and efficient reporting, included daily online support. Is there an organization that can help growers?
To implement this solution, or
I think so. I think so. They implement and maybe maintain, and to learn, to teach them maybe.
I know that I am working also as a commercial, and maybe it's not the best way to go through the organizations or group of growers, some kind of association. But I think that here in Poland we rather prefer a direct contact with the grower, and by direct you can teach the grower how to use. I know this tool is very usable, and I think that is also the very nice solution to implement here in Poland.
But maybe that could be interesting for our Dutch audience. If they want to enter the Polish market, who can help them to reach the Polish growers? The consultancy or this ODR? It is like, centers for the agriculture advisors.
For sure, not ODR, because ODR related, this is organization much more related to agriculture with the field production. Open
Like the grain mainly.
Yes.
Main grain, a lot of statistics there.
So with horticulture, how they can reach the growers
Maybe-
one
maybe,
by one?
Yes,
Like
one
a
by
phone
one.
book?
Mostly finally one by one, but one of solution can be contact through the company, even Dutch, which
Dutch
are
embassy maybe.
even embassy, which can little bit more steer and help in this first contact.
We are ready to support any activities towards Polish growers.
So if there is some inquiry, I understand that maybe through embassy they
We
can
are
reach you
welcome.
and
Absolutely.
you can support.
Also in the bank we have partners we cooperated to build some kind of this stuff, and we propose financing for that because we know this technology, we know how it works and how cost of the building of that, and we proposed our partners to give our clients to do
Have
that.
a clients,
Yeah.
so you have this direct reach. So maybe the last question, because we all the time tackle this robotization, mechanization, automatization. So how do you see the further development of this automatization in Polish greenhouse? I understand that the technology it's not there yet. And maybe the second question, do you use artificial intelligence in your production? Because I know in vegetate production, maybe seeds and ornamental, not really, yes, but in the tomato and the vegetables production, they use, yes, to even investigate the maturity of the crops, yeah? Or is it like a fairy tale?
Yeah, this maybe first entrance. It is visible and there is testing. However, it is too far at the moment, but it is works perfectly. However, we know basic on the data and testing, the artificial intelligence can help a lot. However, it is also part of future development. But how, when come, is difficult to say because after last 3 years, a lot of turbulence, due COVID and now a war over our border. This means, and now energy rising price and not stable enough. It's difficult to say when, however, this come, absolutely, I am sure.
Yeah, horticulture is not the exception, and the artificial intelligence is also the future here, and there is a huge space to use it. And this tool, this question before
About automatization,
about
the future.
automatization, about this, how to recognize the insect. I think that is also a piece of artificial intelligence behind. And also all robotization, we know that some projects are running with the automatic steering of the crop, having the sensors connected and then steering and advising what temperature should be set, what vents, heating and so on. And it's also a huge area for artificial intelligence to translate the measurements, digitals, into the practical work of a grower.
Because you have to be very precise, yes, I think, in the horticulture.
Yeah, and consequence.
Yeah.
Because people sometimes, it was sometimes question why Polish growers are not really 100% follow kind of rules which are created. Because they thinking, maybe today this will be cheaper than we reduce 1 or 2 degrees. Artificial intelligence don't understand it, don't do it. She doesn't do that. This means if we put some data, it will be in the crop.
But also what was said before, we are followers. Polish growers are followers. Our customers, our growers, they are very often visited Netherlands, participated in events, fairs, to follow the development in Netherlands, because in the vast majority, development is coming here from Netherlands. So looking forward to meet our expectations as well.
Optimistic.
So, Mr. Pawlak, what is your idea about the robotization, mechanization, and artificial intelligence development in this sector?
I have a quick thought about the artificial intelligence. In my opinion, the first place where we are thinking and when we can use it it's really the data management. Yes, we all collect a lot of data, and a lot of companies have, for example, climate control computers, and this calls for a lot of discussion. I know it because my brother, he is doing this at Vitroflora, so I have some information from him how many different facts have to be combined together, and I think artificial intelligence can help us a lot with this.
I don't know, Mr. Krawczyk would like add something, or maybe, I don't know, do you have the knowledge what is the most popular improvement if they approach the bank, the growers, the producer, if they want to implement? I don't know if you of course have this knowledge, but
Probably not, and we have a lot of rules and policy in our country, and we must think a lot about how we collect data in the bank and how we can use it and etc. But I don't have this knowledge.
so we just about to finish, so the time for the last question from the audience. So still, if you have some concern, please write it down, and I just ask you maybe for the one final sentence, advice maybe for the Dutch public. What you advise them if they want to enter Polish market, to start cooperation with the Polish growers? What could be your advice in any area? I don't know, culture-wise or technical-wise, whatever. Who would like to start with this? I give you like 2 seconds to think about it. And just the last takeaway message for our audience.
I have a short thing to add, because you asked this question how they can contact how the Netherlands companies should contact the Polish growers. I think still we have some good shows happening here in Poland. And this is always the best place if they don't have the direct contact, the best place to contact the growers.
Anything to add? What?
I think the good place it is, a good channel will be embassy, and also a Dutch company which are still working here probably can help. And I believe then the contact now with new generation of growers is much more simple, because most of, which is also very important, most of our partner speaking pretty good English and have a lot of relation with different company worldwide. This also can help. This means future create for both Poland and Dutch cooperation. I think really nice campaign.
And do you agree with this hierarchy? What Caroline mentioned on the beginning, that we have a great hierarchy in this sector. So you have to be cautious, with whom you talk and how you talk to the people, and the signature stamps on the contract as a culture-wise. Or you disagree with that in your everyday practice?
In private company, I don't think so. This is which I remember.
With Polish officials.
Really past, and I was on the beginning. It was the we can say old-fashioned system, and more state government way.
Yes.
However, Polish private company are really flexible, and the discussion is more directly, like colleague said.
So I think we just about to finish. Anyone maybe? Like, what is your advice for the Dutch audience? The last advice from the
market is stable, as was said, and is also good field to invest. There is still a big space to invest. Please contact us through our embassy or directly. The world is very small now. We have a globalization, and we know that horticulture market in Netherlands it's relatively small. It's a small country, but in Poland it's even smaller, and it's easy to find us, really.
Any financial advice?
Yeah, and when we talk about this financing system, this sector, it's difficult, but it's possible. And if you contact with banks, our bank or another bank, I think everybody want to see what's the topic, and probably we give advice what and how we can do this financing with our clients.
So I think this is about we end our webinar. I would like to thank you once again, our great expert, Mrs. Konrad Pawlak from Vitofrola, Mrs. Adam Krawczyk from Credit Agricole, Mrs. Anna Wojciechowska, our expert and author of the great report. Congratulations for that. Mrs. Paweł Strachman from Rick Zwan Polska, and of course Mrs. Caroline Spahn, the agriculture counselor from the Dutch embassy. And there are a few people behind the scenes, the team of the Dutch embassy who organized the event, the webinar, and 24/7 communication who hosted us today. So thank you very much, and please contact our expert later on if you have any kind of particular interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.